Hello, shamanettes, and welcome to The Beauty Shaman. So today I'm going to talk about best bang for buck when it comes to morning skincare routine. So if you watch a lot of YouTube videos, you know, sometimes people use like 20 things in the morning and 20 things at night, and it's, you know, really expensive items. And I sometimes feel like this is so unrealistic. Like, how can we, given the cost of general inflation right now in the United States, and if you're in another country, like, you know, the UK, inflation is bad, you know, kind of across the board, countries are really feeling this. So I want to do more videos. I'm going to do more videos around bang for buck. Like, what can we use that, you know, is in alignment with where we're at financially? So what I'm going to talk about today is different products I would recommend with your skincare of different price points so that you can make an educated choice on what's going to work best for you. And I'm going to really focus on bang for buck. Also, I just want to point out before we get into this particular video is that I don't use Botox, fillers, or plastic surgery. And the reason why I'm being upfront and honest about this at the get-go with this video and with many skincare videos that I do is because so many YouTubers and, you know, people on Instagram and that sort of thing say, buy this product, it's amazing. Meanwhile, they're getting a lot of injectables and or other type of surgeries done that they're not telling you about or aren't being completely transparent about. And so you're not getting a clear reflection of how effective that particular product is. So when I recommend a product, it's because I've done research on it. I found it to be good, and I want to recommend it, or I use it. And I will be very clear on what I recommend and what I also use on a day-to-day basis. So that you can see, yes, this is what I'm 56 as I film this video, what a 56-year-old woman who uses great skincare, what it looks like. And then you can choose what you feel most able to afford, okay? That's just wanted to be super clear. Please visit my website at thebeautyshamanstore.com. Sign up for my newsletter when you get there for insider deals and updates. And also here on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button and the bell in order to be alerted. Wow, I'm getting my words mixed up at the very beginning. To be alerted every single time I upload a video. All right, let's get going. Okay, so let's start with cleanser. Okay, of course, we're going to start at the beginning here. But even before I touch on cleanser, I want to touch on the fact that skincare, the skin is the largest organ in their body. It is 80% what you put in your body. In other words, 80% of this is diet, self-care, drinking spring water, not tap water, taking some nutritional supplements like vitamin C and vitamin D and things like that. And I'm going to put up in the corner a video where I really get into supplements. I also do a bunch of videos on health with a naturopathic healthcare practitioner. So please do check those out as well. I will put some up in the corner as we go along. So please pay attention to that. In any case, 80% of skincare is internal. Only 20% is actually what you do externally. And so many times we put so much money into the external and we wonder why it isn't working how we want it to. And many times that has to do with other factors, okay, that it's difficult for me to pinpoint with you personally because I'm just speaking in a general sense. But I think that's a really important percentage points to keep in your mind as we sort of move forward into skincare. So, all right, let's start with cleanser. So many cleansers out there on the market. There's a million right now. If you really want to go budget, I would say go into Walgreens, get one that is clean. You can use the word organic is totally overused, but that is a really good kind of frame of reference, I guess. You want to get something that is sort of non-toxic because many products, and we're going to talk about some of them, contain toxic ingredients. So, okay, for starters, let's talk about which cleanser to use. Generally speaking, I cleanse my face only at night and not in the morning. But if you want to do it morning and night, by all means, I don't think it really matters if you do it in the morning or not, saves on product. Having said that, in talking about cleanser, I would say if you have oily skin, you want to use more of a foaming cleanser. I would say to use Cetaphil foaming cleanser. I will put all the links down below. So that's an inexpensive cleanser. I would not use the Cetaphil cleanser for dry skin. And the reason for that is that it contains phthalates. Cetaphil puts phthalates into their creamy cleansers and some of their moisturizers. So really beware. Phthalates are actually bad for you. They are hormone disruptors. So be really mindful of that. But if you have oily skin, definitely lean towards the Cetaphil foaming cleanser. It's not expensive. I want to say it's $12. I might be incorrect. Depends on where you get it. I would also say don't use bar soap. I know Neutrogena has a bar soap. Many other lines contain bar soap. I would say if you have dry skin, or even oily skin. I think bar soap can dehydrate and dry your skin out too much. We really want to keep the oils in our skin. Even if you have oily skin, you don't want to completely remove the oils, because oils are what help you continually look young and keep your skin looking plumped and glowy and that sort of thing. So I would say avoid bar soap. If you're going for a dry skin cleanser, there's a couple I would recommend. One is Image. Image MD makes phenomenal skincare. I carry it on my website because I'm in love with it. But their cleanser for dry skin, I believe it's $36. So see, we're moving up the ladder of cost here in the bang for buck idea. But you need a very, very small amount. Concentrated, really good products, you need really small amounts. Does a great job, cleans your face, it's fabulous. If you have very dry skin, I would lean towards more of an oily cleanser. So in other words, it's actually oil. Maybe it foams up a little bit as an oil. So these can be really, really wonderful if you have very dry skin. I would say if your skin is more like mine, sort of combination, or normal to dry, it might feel too oily to you. But if you have very dry skin, you're going to want to take a bath in it. It's fabulous. So one brand I would recommend, I had my roommate buy this and she absolutely loved it. It's by Tatcha. It's $48. I believe that's on Amazon. It's $48. A lot of the links I'll give you are Amazon. But in any case, so moving up the cost, but it's also a lovely, lovely oil cleanser. You can get cheaper oily cleansers at like a Walgreens or something like that. But, I'm giving you a little bit better quality of an oily cleanser just because I think that really matters when it comes to ingredients sometimes with these things. Okay, moving on, toners. I would say if you are a woman over the age of 50, you should probably forego any toner. Sometimes toners aren't drying, but for the most part, this is a blanket comment, but most toners are actually very drying to the skin. They either contain some alcohol components or they're meant to be sort of cleaning the skin, and so they tend to strip the skin a little much. I think the older we get, the more gentle of products we really need to lean towards. Obviously, this is a blanket generalization. If you have not found that, or if you have a toner that you feel like is really gentle, absolutely knock yourself out. I'm speaking generally, avoid the toner, and that'll save you money. All right, so the next best bang for buck product that I would say is vitamin C serum. Really, it is one of the absolute number one. I think that and retinol, which I'll recommend in my nighttime, best nighttime bang for buck, is a retinol. Because retinol and vitamin C are the two key ingredients. And I've done a whole video on both of them. So I'll put that in the top corner there. But bang for buck, if you want results and if you don't want to know where to put your money, I would say spend the most on those two ingredients. But you can get cheaper types of both of those main ingredients. Okay. So, I'm going to talk about that right now, but the vitamin C serum, it's very important to get a vitamin C serum that is in an amber bottle. So it looks kind of like this, like very dark. Okay. If you get vitamin C and it is in a clear bottle, that is a bad sign because vitamin C is an unstable molecule and it can oxidize very, very quickly. Now, this isn't the case for every single vitamin C. I've heard of other vitamin Cs that contain certain ingredients that keep them from oxidizing. I'm just, again, making general comments. I think generally speaking, find one that's in more of an amber bottle or a darker bottle in order to help it stabilize for a vitamin C. Now, vitamin C is also in many different forms. I did a whole video. Again, I keep referring to other videos if you want more information, a video and a blog on this one. And that's in the upper corner here where I talk about the 8 different forms of vitamin C. Okay, just because a product says has vitamin C, it's important as a consumer, and I believe you are all highly intelligent, wonderful women because you're watching my channel. In any case, I know that you are capable of really doing a lot of research, but I want to give you some direction here, and that is that not all vitamin Cs are equal. There are 8 different types. Some of them are very, very weak. So it might contain 25% of this type of vitamin C, but you're not going to see any results because it's a very, very weak, watered down form of vitamin C. You really want to focus on 3 different types of vitamin C for your vitamin C serum. One of those is L-ascorbic acid. L-ascorbic acid can be irritating though, so watch out about that. I know the Ordinary, which I'm going to talk about in a minute as one of the products I recommend, but the Ordinary has a vitamin C serum. It uses L-ascorbic acid, it uses large amounts of it, and sometimes that, if not formulated correctly, and I don't know their formulation, I only know their ingredients, it it can cause irritation and not soak into the skin effectively. So that's the problem with a lot of these cheaper vitamin C's, is that they're using ingredients that are not as good. That doesn't mean you're not going to see some results. Okay. So you could try The Ordinary. I believe I want to say it's $15 on Amazon. Bit off the top of my head there. But again, it's L-ascorbic acid. So give it a go. It's only $15. Okay. The other type of vitamin C I would say pay close attention to, and I have to read it so that I don't fumble over it, which I know I will anyway, is tetrahexadecyl ascorbate. Woo! Tetrahexa. Okay, you heard me before. Anyway, that is a very good form of vitamin C. Many lines use it. ImageMD, which I carry, absolutely carries that particular type of vitamin C. It's great. I would say that's a really good one to tune into. The way to read an ingredient deck, I'll do a whole video on how to read ingredient decks, is the higher on the deck ingredients come, the more of them it is. So it's really important to pay close attention. Say they have that type of vitamin C that I just said, which I'm not going to say again because I'll stumble, but it's number 25 down on the deck. You're getting a very, very small amount. So just pay attention to that sort of thing. That is a good type of vitamin C. One of the products that they have that I'm recommending to you is the Repair Serum. It contains vitamin C. You can use it. I believe that one's used in the morning. That is a wonderful form of vitamin C, is non-irritating, and you will see results, but it's considered a mid-range. All right, it's $84. To me, that's mid-range when it comes to especially vitamin C and good forms of vitamin C that are effective. Okay, so top of the food chain in vitamin C, ascorbyl tetraisopalmitate. Right off my tongue, that one comes. This is the top form of vitamin C. It's the most expensive form of vitamin C. It is not in very many vitamin Cs. You can Google that. It is very rarely used because it is more expensive and the products are going to end up costing more. Again, pay attention to ingredient decks. And one of the videos I did, I read an ingredient deck from a $350 vitamin C serum where tetraisopalmitate was listed way down the deck, like number 20, which means why is it $350, right? Because the most expensive ingredient is so far down the deck. You really want to have it much closer. My favorite vitamin C serum is Truth Treatment's Transdermal C Serum. It contains 80% vitamin C, which is enormous. On the market, normally you find 20, 25%. That's pretty average. But Truth Treatments has gone crazy and they put 80%. It is by far my favorite product in their line. I love it. I would also say it is $199. So not an inexpensive item, a bit more spendy. Bang for buck though, you're going to get more out of it. You only use 2 drops every single time you use it. So that's a big plus. All right, moisturizers. Let's touch on moisturizers. Some of you don't need moisturizers during the day. Once you use your C serum, you might be fine. I don't always use a moisturizer because I tend to be pretty hydrated with the C serum. Having said that, if you live in a drier climate, or you feel like you need more of a very dry skin, I would say look into a really good moisturizer. So I'm going to highlight a couple of them. ImageMD, again, I love this brand. It has SPF 50 in the moisturizer. Fantastic, because we're also going to talk about using sunblock if you're going to be out in the sun. If you're not out in the sun, don't worry about it. I only use it when I'm actually going to be out in the sun for an extended period of time. Having said that, the ImageMD contains a 50 SPF. That's lovely. There are many such moisturizers with SPF in them. Not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes it can compete with the actual moisturizer, so it depends on the brand. Sorry, that's a little vague as far as brands go, but it's just something to be aware of. Sometimes it can minimize the SPF in it because you're mixing it with moisturizer. Okay, a bang for buck, inexpensive moisturizer is Weleda, W-E-L-E-D-A. It's $14 at Walgreens, kind of more under the organic, clean beauty heading. Everything I'm telling you to recommending to you is all under that heading. Okay, I don't really ever recommend anything outside of that at this point. I would say that's a good, solid moisturizer. I don't know how good it is on very dry skin. I've not tried it on very dry skin, but it's $14, so not expensive. I'd say if you want like a phenomenal moisturizer, Truth Treatments makes a sebum and an omega-6 cream. The omega-6 cream is for very dry skin. I would say if you are like parched, your skin is like so dehydrated, go with the omega-6 healing cream. It contains omega-6 oils. It is unbelievable. It hydrates you like crazy. It's so rich. I can't use it because I'm not that dry. I use the transdermal sea balm, which is wonderfully hydrating, and I use it all around my eyes and all over the place. I actually don't use eye cream, which is next on my topic here. I don't use eye cream. I feel like I use my sea serum around my eye and my moisturizer, which is basically better than any eye cream that I could ever possibly use. And so that's why I do that. That isn't the case for everybody, and I realize that. And some of you have really good eye creams. So by all means, go ahead. I'm just being honest about what I do and I don't do. So those are my top hits for a sea serum. Definitely get some sea serum and get it started in your routine, even if it's a cheaper type. At least you can start getting the benefits. Okay, last but not least, we're going to talk about sunblock. All right, if you're out in the sun for longer than an hour, I would say get some sunblock and use it. So the thing I would warn about sunblocks is to stay away from oxybenzone. Again, I have to read it over here, but that ingredient is actually a toxic neurodisruptor, hormone disruptor, bad disruptor ingredient, and many products use it, including Neutrogena. I used to use the Neutrogena facial sunblock, like 25 or whatever it was, and then I realized what was in it. So I would say put those aside and just read the ingredient deck and look for that word. If that word is in it, don't buy it. We want to try to stay as clean as humanly possible. That's kind of how I operate. And that's what I would recommend to you. As far as products go, I really love the image. It's not MD. I don't carry this. This you'd have to get from their website. I'll put a link down below, but their image is called Prevention. And I believe that comes in different levels of SPF. They have, I think, a 20, I think they have a 35, and I think they have a 50. I could be wrong on this, but they're all good, right? That doesn't matter the level as much as just being sure that you get one that has does not have the oxybenzone in it. And then if you're out in the sun for an extended period of time, you're going to have to reapply anyway, because even if you get a 50, doesn't mean it lasts 50 times longer. It just means it's more strong when it's on, but it still fades and you need to reapply. So really be mindful of that. Okay, so that's my breakdown of bang for buck morning skincare. I think if you really want to go on the cheap, just get a really inexpensive cleanser. Spend your money on your sea serum, okay? And then if you need a moisturizer, you can get a medium range moisturizer and you'll be fine. So that's my inexpensive ones. If you can afford more, definitely you're going to get more bang for buck with the different products that I've listed here. So I hope this has been helpful. Please write down below. I always love to hear from you, and I love feedback, and I also love some sort of a dialogue. If you disagree with something I said, absolutely throw it out there. I'm all game, man. I'm all for back and forth and learning from each other and respecting each other's views. No censorship here. Anyway, thank you so much for watching The Beauty Shaman.